David, good to see you.
Good to see you, Jose.
Talk a little bit about this Internet Essentials. What exactly is that program?
Okay, for those who don't know, Internet Essentials is Comcast's low-income broadband adoption program. It's the most comprehensive program in the country. $9.95 a month for 10 meg down internet service. The option to purchase a subsidized, fully internet-capable and Microsoft Office loaded computer for under $150. And most importantly of all,
you own it.
You own it. They purchase it and own it. And then most importantly of all, a comprehensive suite of digital literacy training materials in print, online, and in person delivered through thousands of nonprofit partners around the country.
Who has access to it?
So the basic program, the classic Internet Essentials program, any family in the country who has a child eligible to participate in the National School Lunch Program was eligible to participate in the program. In 4 years, we have 4 years of data, we've been able to sign up 500,000 families, more than 2 million low-income Americans to the internet, most of them for the first time in their lives.
You know, we always hear, absolutely, it's a great program. We always hear about the digital divide. What exactly is it, and how big of a digital divide are we living in the United States?
So the digital divide is simply the disparity between people on one end of the spectrum who tend to be mostly low income, mostly living in urban America, who do not have access to the internet at home, and a population of mostly wealthier people, most of them in suburban America and in wealthier areas of cities who do have access to the internet. So you can put numbers on it. Broadband adoption in low-income urban communities can be as low as 15 or 20, rarely more than 30%. Broadband adoption in those wealthier communities is 85, 90%, or even higher. And that's the divide.
To bring it another way, many of our communities, 70% of the people living in many of our communities don't have access to internet.
At least they don't have access to the internet at
home.
And that means they don't get access to the richness of the internet that my bet is everyone in this audience and their families enjoy. Access to educational tools, access to health care, information, access to vocational opportunities, and access to news, information, and entertainment that we all take for granted, and yet a wide swath of our population is being left behind.
No, I mean, think about this. If you're living without internet access in this day and age, and you're living in one of our cities, you are literally surrounded by a moat of silence, and your children don't have access to the basic understanding, research that many other children do.
I've traveled the country, and I've met with teachers, for example, who are excited about new educational software that has been provided to them,
Sure.
and they're conflicted as to whether to use that software because they know that half the kids or more in their class don't have access to the internet at home and will just be left further behind because they can't do the homework that they need to do as a result of the use of this educational software.
I have a 4th grade daughter, and her homework is through the internet.
Right. Look, Comcast is the largest internet service provider in the country, and all of our employees, from our technicians and call center employees to our most senior executives, recognize how essential the internet is.
Yeah.
It's why we call it Internet Essentials. And it's why, as a company, we have a passion for this program. I've said this before. I don't understand how in a country that is the richest nation on earth, that is the most technologically advanced nation on earth, how we can tolerate, as a public policy matter, as a corporate social responsibility matter, leaving millions of our low-income children and families behind and denying them access to the internet.
And when you have access to the internet, it's generationally changing in that family.
One of the things we have learned, there's been a lot of research done on this, is if we can get if we can get a computer and internet access into a home, it's not just the 8th grader or the 4th grader, the 11th grader who benefits from it, but all of a sudden you've got the parents who
Las abuelitas, the grandmothers.
They can now search online for jobs, and you've got grandmothers who can get access to health care information. So you're literally opening up the world of the internet to the entire family by getting it into the home.
And so now, coming up on your 5th year, you have now expanded to low-income seniors, among others. And let's focus on just the seniors part.
So we actually have a couple of pilot programs, one in Florida, which you're familiar with, for low-income seniors. The statistics show fewer than half of low-income seniors in America have access to the internet.
It's unbelievable.
One of the critical issues around elder care today is the sense of isolation that seniors have. And of course, the internet is a great way for them to maintain connectedness to their family, to their community, and to resources that they need. So we've got a couple of pilot programs expanding the eligibility to low-income seniors as a way to try and contribute to attacking the problems of the digital divide with that population, which of course is very different than the school-age children population.
And then there's also another program on community college
Right.
students.
So we have, again, a couple of pilots in the state of Colorado and the state of Illinois, where we've extended eligibility for Internet Essentials to low-income community college students, and that's viewed as just the extension of the program. Imagine you have access to the Internet as a high school student, you graduate high school, you get a job, you move into your own apartment, and then you enroll in community college, but you don't have access to the Internet anymore. You've moved out of your family's home. We're going to make sure that that path to educational success continues, and you need a computer at home just as much for community college as you do for high school or middle school.
Coming into your 5th year, what's next?
So we continue to try and make this program easier to enroll in. We're continuing to look at other populations like veterans populations, people with disabilities. But again, the key learning here, and if everyone leaves here with one thought in mind, it's not just the cost of the service or the cost of the equipment. The real issue here is digital literacy and relevance. So we are bound and determined to increase our digital literacy programs and training programs, which, by the way, we offer in multiple languages.
Yeah, I mean, I go to the Espanol site of Internet Essentials.
Our literature is available in 14 different languages. The website is English and Spanish, so that is our priority, expanding digital literacy, digital awareness, and really driving broadband adoption and making it a reality for every American to have access to the Internet at home.
What a tragedy that in many of our communities, up to 70% live in a moat of silence. We have to change that. David Cohen, thank you very much.
Jose,
Good to see you.
Thanks, everyone.